This morning we're taking a trip to Hastings, Michigan. It's real close to Battle Creek, the home of the cornflakes. Let's get into it. Here's what we fetched up in Hastings, Michigan. It's a slow ramp, Morty. Wait for it.
Wait for the ramp, Morty. They love the slow ramp. Really gets their dicks hard when they see this ramp just slowly extending down. Greetings!
This is you can't really see it, John Deere 312G. Looks like somebody's tried to scratch the deer off of it. They got something against it, I guess. This thing was in Hastings, Michigan, a super nice family. We went up there and picked this up. They were nice. They were stood out in the rain to show us this machine. They didn't have to. This is a 2018 or 17, one or the other. But it come out of a dairy farm, cattle barn, I guess. And you can tell by the rims that it's been a muck truck. It pushed the cow poop out of the barns, and it kind of put me off at first when I first looked at it. I thought, man, this thing's got to be like a 2000 or 2001, but no, it's actually a newer machine. But it's just that there's so much acid in that cow manure that it's just corrosive. But you can tell by looking at the cab. Man, why were they trying to scratch on it? Back here, it's all scratched up. Maybe the bulls was attacking it. Not likely. But they put new tires on it. This thing has hydraulically controlled quick connect. So you just mash a button. I've never had one that's had the hydraulic quick attach on it before. This doesn't even have handles. But you can see where it's just rusty on this. Not rusted out, just a little rusty. Rusty on the rims. We're going to fix that. I'll probably sandblast the rims. Clean them up nice. And probably just sand on these masts. And just paint them, put some new decals on them. I can't understand why they wanted these stickers off so bad. It looks like somebody's really went to town scratching on it. But the cab's in really good shape. I thought something was missing here, but I don't know nothing about these. And that's just you flip this lever up and down, and that is your hydraulic controls for your attachments. And it's a really nice machine. Inside, it's super nice. That's hard to see. We don't get much light in here. The seat's a little torn. They could probably use a new seat, but not today. I probably, if ever put one in it. Matt said it was really wet when he sat in it, so the seats get really wet. It's not been on its side, best I can tell. It's got one light out. This light up here is out. Now this is a fairly new line of the John Deere loaders. I think they come out in 2016, 312GR. The G is a new series. It's a small series. R stands for radial lift. If you're familiar with these, they make a radial lift, which makes the arm swings at an arc when it comes up. So it's only got one pivot point, and then your two links for your hydraulic cylinder. The vertical lift machine has an extra set of arms and limbs back here. It has all kinds of different stuff, just tons of different stuff. There's probably, I guess there's 6 pin connection on each side. There's so much more hardware, so much more to work on, so much more to service whenever you have a vertical lift machine, and all you really gain is when you raise the mast up, instead of going in an arc, it just goes straight up in front of the machine, so you can do real close loading. And I have never understood why that even made a difference. There's so much more leverage and so much more mechanicals, and I believe the vertical lift machines are heavier. Now somebody correct me on that if I'm wrong. I just don't understand why they've been scratching at this so bad. It's got me bum puzzled. They left it back here, scratched it more here. But these have, I believe, Yanmar engines in them. They are Tier 4 compliant, but they do not have DEF. One thing they do have, I believe, I believe that is a catalytic converter. And I don't know if this thing has to have a regen on it. I don't know how these work. I've never had a machine this new. But we picked it up, all the fluids looked nice. We didn't see any hydraulics anywhere leaking. Oops. It doesn't have the weights on it. Come on, shut. It doesn't have the weights. This thing's made for weights on the side. And you can put the weights on it and get just a tad bit more lifting out of it, which doesn't matter to me. I guess that's where it comes from, the green mark, or maybe that's the design of the machine. Don't know. Somebody will let me know, I'm sure. It's looks like it's been greased good. That one doesn't look like it's had a lot of grease. But we moved it around, checked all the pins and bushings. They seem to be pretty solid. These two, on these two tilt cylinders right here, seem to have just a slightest little bit of slack in them. That's all we can really find. I haven't driven it. Matt's been driving it around the yard. He said the machine's really tight and really fast. We got a log splitter with it. And somewhere in one of these fittings, I'm not sure where, there's hydraulic fluid there. I wasn't outside when Matt was working on it. He said one of these fittings, he said it was the smaller one that looked like it was missing an O-ring. This one was leaking when he hooked it up to the log splitter. So these usually don't leak here. So it's probably the fitting that's on the log splitter, the female fitting. So I'll have to get, I'd say these are probably both good. I'll have to check the fittings on the log splitter. Maybe they're not mating correctly. Maybe there's just something wrong there. But he said that log splitter was so powerful that it would move the whole machine. And another thing we found, you can't see it, but this little hose here goes to the hydraulic quick attach function. It moves the pins up and down. And it is cracked right where it joins, right where it goes in between there, like somebody's pinned it. So I'm going to take this hose off in the next couple of days and take it to the shop and have it remade. Take it to Anthony or take it to the place close by. That's hydraulic fluid there dripping. And I believe that's where Matt said it was running out of this fitting. It had dripped down the front of the machine. So, like I said, I don't think it's this fitting. I think it's the fitting that's on the other piece itself, the log splitter. We'll find out. But I want to just kind of walk around this thing. You can see how nasty the wheels are, and they look really bad in the picture. But when you get up on it, it's just surface stuff. And looks like they've been orange at one time. Yeah, they could have been Bobcat wheels that somebody's repainted. I believe they're interchangeable. I don't know that for sure. I know I had a case wheel on my 863 Bobcat. And these are 10 16.5, so they're 10 inch with 16.5 inch rim. Pretty sure the Bobcats and the other ones, I think these wheels are all interchangeable, but I don't know that for sure. Tiny little bit of rust on the body. A little bit of rust back here where people's got into the corners. No big deal. One small dent in this back door. The lights all work. I've just got one backup light and I think it works. It's missing a reflector on that other side. Missing a John Deere sticker. I don't understand. Maybe somebody was going to paint it and they just went to town with some kind of scratchy thing, which is really a bad idea. But who knows? Look at that. Somebody's tried to take every decal on it off and I don't know why. They just went wild on it. But probably won't paint the lower part. We will paint the mast, these booms here. We'll not paint the cab. We might do some touch-up paint on it. There's a little bit there. Just all we want to do is we're not trying to make a magical machine. We're just trying to stop rust. Just like we did the other machine. It made it look like it was maybe a year to 2 years old when we got done with it. And it took care of the rust. It'll stop it for a little while. We're not trying to fool anybody. And we probably won't sell this machine. Matt's kind of wanting to buy it for himself to start his little business with. So that's probably the direction we'll go. He's going to buy it off from me. Or just work the money out somehow. And we'll trade on it. But as long as I get to use it, I don't care. That way I don't have to buy another one. If he's going to allow me to use it, then I'm satisfied with that. You can park it here. We're just going to, like I said, just fix all the rusty spots. We haven't had the cab open. We will open the cab in a day or two. Looks like it opens like a Bobcat. I don't see any hydraulic shocks. Maybe they're underneath it or inside. Yeah, they're inside the cab, I think. So, but this is the newest machine we've ever owned. We've never had a skid steer this new, so it may have. But like I said, this is the lower end. John Deere tried to come out with an affordable line. This is the smallest, the 312GR. And this is probably the most affordable one they come out with, and it still has the hydraulic disconnect or quick attach, so it's a little classy. I've got to get me a manual on it and find out. It's got a rearview mirror. That's a factory piece that was in there. I've got to get a manual and see if this thing does indeed do regens. I wouldn't think it would, but with a catalytic converter it might. It has 2 drive motors on it, and they said that's the thing that usually goes out on these. And he said at some point, I don't know if it's whether he had it or whether the dairy had it, that both the drive motors have been replaced on this machine. So it has new drive motors on it and new tires. So I'm hoping after we get the rims done, we don't even have to look at the bottom end of it again and just focus on cosmetics and maybe a few lights. But that's a little walk around of our newest acquisition, the John Deere 312GR 2018 or 17. I don't know. It has both dates on it. But if I take the VIN number to the dealer, they can tell me more about it. Looks like it has had a door at one time. Somebody's had a door on it because you can see it's been watered out around that. So it has had a door. I believe you can get plexiglass sheets to go inside both sides and put a door on this thing fairly simply. The door would have to be a custom piece, but you can just use regular plexiglass in there. It's all flat. So you can put plexiglass in there. It doesn't have a heater that I'm aware of, but it does have all kinds of extra wires where you could add stuff. So I just chuffed that it has a rear view mirror and a hydraulic disconnect. I'll take that panel off and straighten it out, and we'll paint this whole thing here and get all of our gray redone. It's going to take a lot of work to get all these scratches out. It's just amazing. Maybe some kid wanted to fix it up as a toy and was trying to paint it themselves. Just don't know. But it's had a lot of scratches. We'll start work on it in a few days, and you guys can ride along with us as we progress with it. Thanks for watching, guys. We're going to have there's some time lapse in there. I hope you guys enjoyed it from our travels. Stay clean, everybody. Thanks for watching.